All right, this week we are talking about healing prayer. My prayer experience this week, I've been praying for a friend who is working on a healing relationship with their mother. A friend, she doesn't have a great relationship with her mother, and just there's a lot of forgiveness that needs to happen, and there's a lot of just trust in God in the situation that He can rewrite this story for her that needs to happen. That being said, as far as like experience through it and after it, the experience so far has been great. Shortly after praying for her and talking to her, her mom reached out and pretty much said, "Hey, I want to figure out how we can have a relationship again." So God is already working in that situation. A really testimony healing prayer for me that didn't happen this week, though, that I would like to share is the healing prayer of my father. If you had asked me about the story of my father today, I have a testimony of what God can do in relationships and how He can rewrite a story. For me, my dad and I didn't talk for almost 10 years. He was what put it truthfully and simply, he was the abusive father. He, whether it's verbal, physical, it didn't matter what it was. I remember very young, one year I got punched in the face by my father and went to a family reunion and had a black eye, and this same day, and I had to have the embarrassment of lying to everybody that it was from a soccer practice accident. But that's not the story that I have now with my father. I felt the prompting of the Holy Spirit to invite my father to church, and through that we slowly over months started rebuilding our relationship. I'll admit there's still times where it's awkward because he'll say something that's it's almost triggering. Like, it's like I heard that my entire life, and he's trying to say it as a joke to make light of things, and it's triggering, and I have to catch myself and not think negatively. But as far as like the testimony is, I invited my dad to church, and I prayed every single week and submitted prayer requests through the church every single week that my dad come to Christ, that my dad be healed and made new, and he just come to Christ. Long story short, that happened. My dad committed his life, and I personally had the amazing just honor of getting to baptize my father, and the pictures are just, they're surreal. It's a huge testimony of what healing through prayer can do. So that being said, I would like to cover one thing as far as Mark 16:18 goes. Just real quick, as far as like biblical truth, it's listed in our teaching that this is a command by God to lay hands on people and pray for them. I just want to cover that based on context. Context is everything of how we read the Bible. We have to be careful of how we label certain verses. The context of Mark 16:18 isn't necessarily a command. It's a narrative. It's written in a narrative form, which is a story or an account of what happened. So it's not listed as a command. I just want to clarify that for some confusion. That being said, I completely agree with what we're trying to teach. I do believe that we should be praying for people, and that the laying of hands on people while praying, though it's not a command, I personally don't believe that it gives any more extra power to God And the reason I say that is if I'm praying for like Ukraine in that situation to get better, God's going to handle that situation, and I trust God to handle that situation no different than if I was physically there laying my hands on people. The power of prayer in general is powerful. The power of prayer and just the power of God through prayer is powerful as it is no matter your location. So I just want to encourage through that, yes, laying on hands, it's a very encouraging, and I do find it very important because it makes the person that you feel like you're praying for feel connected. So I think there's some validity to that. I just wanted to clarify real fast that it's technically not a command, but I do agree we all should be doing it. I will agree with that. We all should be doing it. If you're in a life group or a small group, Bible study, what it is, I do encourage that at the end of every time you guys meet, that if pray as a group, and if there's one specific person, don't be afraid to link hands and hold hands in a circle or lay your hands on that one person as you pray for them. So power of prayer is powerful. It's very powerful. The story of my dad says it all, and I can already see God working in the story of my friend and her mom. Prayer healing is real. God heals people and rewrites stories for the glory of the kingdom.